also knows the Bible front and back. I could have been disrespectful. I could have cussed him out. I am so grown. I don't need him. So that's manipulation.
Hey y'all, thank you for clicking on this video. If you are here to heal, I really commend you and I appreciate you. And if you are here to relate to one another, you are not alone. I was in the same boat. Shoot, I'm still in the same boat. But this is a disclaimer to explain that this is a series about my childhood and adulthood trauma experiences that were developed from my parents. The purpose is to target a community of women who can relate to my upbringing, my feelings, and my story. This isn't to slander, bash, judge, or harm anyone's character of the parties involved. Through this series, I'm to share my story while doing my best at aiming to please God through this content. I disclaim that I do love my family, and if any of what I share they happen to see, I would only hope that they hear me when I say my story is for me, my healing, and my audience, to help us all get through the things that have caused this trauma. If any other family members watching this get triggered by my story, please remember this is my truth. And sometimes I can hurt someone's feelings due to it not being the other person's truth, or what I say may strike a nerve because it holds truth. In whichever way, this is my perception, and if it is not agreed to, I respect that. As long as the people know their pure intentions, my words shouldn't ruffle any feathers. Me telling my story is no different than a singer singing about their heartbreak or a breakup and singing it to the whole world. So I pray that everyone can heal, mature in their faith, and practice being the person that God has planned for us to be.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode of the Vulnerability series where I talk about childhood and adulthood experiences that I've went through that have basically caused me trauma or things that I'm trying to heal through. Today I'm going to be discussing how my father basically tries to manipulate me throughout one specific situation that happened in my adulthood recently. This is taking place in 2024. And this situation happened about 2.5 weeks ago, or more so 2 weeks ago. So all of this does pretty much involve my immediate family. However, again, this is not to slander, shame, or judge any of their characters. I honestly just feel like we are all on, myself and the rest of my immediate family members are all on different paths in life. I chose the path that chooses God. It talks a lot in Proverbs about wisdom, and in this situation I definitely feel like I was offering wisdom. And also I want to really point out there's a verse in Proverbs and Luke, I believe it's really do unto others as you would want them to do to you, and that's really like the principle of the situation. So yeah, I will get started and let you guys know what happened, and then I'm gonna basically put some screenshots on the screen so you guys know the context of it. So let's get started. So it starts off, my sister is having a little pool gathering. It was very small at first, and the only reason that I found out about it was because I asked her what she was doing that day. So to be honest with you, if things had went different and I saw on social media that there was like a few family members that we're close to and I didn't get the invite, I kind of would have felt away. I'm the type of person where I like to be thought about, and I do want to show up. So, you know, especially in advance, being a braider, like my schedule, if I have an appointment, I have an appointment, I can't go. But that day I did have an appointment, but because I asked her in the morning what she had planned and she let me know, I knew that they would be there long after I finished, you know, my appointment. So yeah, when she told me where she was going, which was my aunt's house, I thought about my other cousins, their siblings, and my cousins had recently, like literally a couple days before that, they expressed their feelings about feeling left out because she also had a beach day event and they weren't invited. So I was doing my cousin's hair, both of them, and they were letting me know, yeah, like they didn't invite us to the beach thing. And it like really wasn't that deep, but I took note, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little weird. And so just to preface, you guys, like, just think about it. Put yourself in perspective. These cousins, they all went to school together. Now, were they all close? That is up to them to disclose. I'm not really that sure. But by the looks of it, they've been hanging out a little bit more in the summer. So I figured, like, I felt like not including them was a little weird. Like, okay, I do understand that there are people who are closer than others. So we'll get deeper into that. But I'm not saying everybody always has to be included. I want everybody to please understand that. Yeah, so with me knowing the knowledge that my cousins were excluded from a prior event, then I noticed another one was coming up because I asked about it. I said to my sister, why don't you invite your cousins? And they're all around the same age as well. And she was basically saying, it's not a whole party. I'm not trying to have, people over. And I'm like, I kind of instantly got upset when I saw that because I'm like, what do you mean? That sounds like an excuse. And so I still tried to relay the message really nicely as far as like, I don't think that our aunt and uncle really care that much. Like, they're pretty open with people coming over their house. If it makes you feel better, you can ask if they can come. And so she never replied to that. And I just kind of took it as she's not going to ask because she already had the excuses. So I was like, okay, like, whatever. That bothered me too. By the time I got over to my aunt's house, I got there around 6 o'clock. Y'all, there was like a bunch of people there, pans of food, like, and my sister didn't set all of that up. But just to say, like, it wasn't a party and then all these people pop up over here, again, I'm not blaming her for that, because our aunt and uncle are the type who invites anybody and everybody over their house. They're really welcoming and loving. So, and I think, to my knowledge, I think she knows that. And so I thought that was excuse number one, right? So I go ahead and I get there, and I kind of have an attitude with my sisters, but I try not to express that to them just because I don't want to bring like that bad energy. So I say hello. They're acting normal. My sister wants to talk about her, her problems, her next appointment, how she wants her hair. And I'm just thinking, girl, like, you couldn't even respond to my text when I was trying to give you some, suggested advice. That doesn't mean you have to take it. So it's fine. So anyway, their older sister, the cousins that didn't get invited, their older sister was there. And so she brought the issue to their attention. Like, if you guys don't like my sisters, just say that. Like, she said, I'm gonna need y'all to invite them. Or if you don't like them, then just tell us. Like, it's that simple. Again, I think the sister that I already told them about it, she brought up the same excuses. Like, oh, it was last minute. I don't want, it wasn't a party. I don't want to invite other people into someone else's home. But this is our family. So I just thought that comment was weird. I just thought it was an excuse. Called her out on that. And I'm like, I just feel like those are excuses. I feel like there has to be like a deeper reason other than you, saying this. So I think that was really hard for me to accept. I just really don't believe that. And I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm just saying excuses are excuses. So yeah, that's basically what happened. I was trying to teach my sisters, because I had both of my sisters there, and there was another cousin involved who hangs out with the cousins who were left out. So it was 3 people involved at that conversation. And I was kind of just looking for them to kind of take a little bit more accountability. They did say sorry and that they will do it in the future. I think them not understanding why the excuses are kind of like BS, or it's kind of messed up. It's just like, these are the answers I would have been okay with. It's like, oh, we don't have that much in common. Oh, I'm closer to, this person, which is why I invited them. I just want to do something intimate today, like something really small. There's, no specific reason that I left them out, or, or I just forgot. Like, I would have went with that, those are more like. And even if you said, I don't really like them like that, I can accept that, because that gives honest, like, we don't vibe like that. Because I have a cousin like that. I love my cousin, but we on 2 different paths, and I don't invite her to anything because she chooses not to be around. But like, I still love my cousin. When she does come around, it's gonna be a good time. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, so I have a cousin as well that I won't invite to things just because of certain things. Like, she doesn't want to come around, and also we don't really, have the same things in common. So, those are my reasons. I feel like that is understanding. I feel like that is the truth. That's my truth, and I feel like my cousin could probably agree to that. Like, And so the reason why it bothers me, and I'm not really trying to pick on them like about it, the conversation gets deeper at the end of the night when my sisters and I, we're going back and forth in group text trying to get each other to understand where we're coming from. And so I relate to this because my immediate family have left me out of funerals, and none of this, I believe, is intentional, but I believe it's so self-centered between the people that are in the house, and they forget about everybody else outside of the world who's who may need an extra, oh hey, this is happening, like who may need that extra communication because I'm not in contact with certain people, not by choice, it's just that's what it is. So I've been left out of funerals. There's a time they went to Disneyland and they didn't let me know in advance. Like, it's like they forget I'm an adult. There's another situation where my other sister lost my photos, and she couldn't take accountability for like 2 weeks, and because her thing was, we don't know that the pictures are gone. And I'm like, are you serious? You can't find the pictures. So she wasn't gonna say sorry for that. So I've had my experiences with this. So I'm like, I really don't want my sisters to repeat the same inconsiderate thinking that they already have been doing. Like, they already lacked taking accountability. And some of those situations weren't just my sisters. Like, I think the one with my sister was like her losing my pictures, but everything else was my parents. So I have my thing with my parents, which is why this is really deep for me. So my sister tried to flip it and was like, she started saying my dad's first name. She was like, Ronald. His name is Ronald. Let's just say Ronald. Ronald doesn't invite us to things, or Ronald doesn't let us know about things. So because Ronald doesn't X, Y, and Z, it's not like, we're not going to know. Like, she tried to flip the script. Like, we don't get invited to things. And because my youngest sister is still a minor and my older sister, she's an adult, they both still live in the house. So that's what the transition to being an adult and like moving into adulthood is, that if you move out, this is what happened for me. They're still gonna inform my parents, like the family events, they're gonna still inform my parents about what's going on, but it's up to my parents to let me know, because me and my family, we used to roll together because we all lived in the house together. Once one person knows about something, everybody else will automatically know. But because I grew up and moved out the house, I had to tell certain family members, like, hey, my parents aren't going to tell me about certain things because I don't live in the house anymore. So, can you start letting me know, or, put me in a group text, whatever. So I had to go the extra mile and do, those things in order not to be left out. So, yeah, she was trying to flip the script, basically saying, well, we feel not thought of or not considered, in that moment. So goes back to my thing about do unto others what you want them to do to you. My cousin's older sister was like, yeah, your parents are a little weird. And then she turned to me, she was like, no offense, no disrespect, I love my auntie and uncle, but all of us are weird to a certain extent. We got all our little things about us. And I saw my other sisters, not the youngest one, but the one after me, she like tensed up. She was like, when she heard the word weird. And so obviously I'm telling my testimonies. I don't have a good relationship with my parents. Apparently they have a good relationship with the parents, and so they felt a need to defend them and all that. So later on that night, my younger sister, not the youngest but the one after me, basically tries to press my cousin about like taking accountability for making a statement of calling someone weird, calling my parents weird. And I'm like, number one, there's some things that you have to let go. If somebody is to call me like weird or fake, or you don't like me, like, to me, that's a you problem, not me. So if someone like that, and I think it's different because obviously if you do have a good relationship with your parents, because I do understand where they're coming from, you wouldn't stand for that. But at the same time, I definitely think they took the context very wrong. Like, that wasn't the intention to like be derogatory or negative. Like, I really don't think that's where it came from. So I think they blew that out of proportion. And then the cousin's older sister was not really standing for that. It was like, you can call me, like, we're not about to go back and forth. Like, I'm not gonna apologize. I meant what I said, and you know, it is what it is. So I wasn't there for that conversation, but that's basically, you know, what I heard. So that became a bigger thing. So now, getting into the nitty gritty. My dad texted me. He texted me trying to get clarity on the situation, and he said, give me a call. So I'm just gonna put the messages on the side so we can speed this up. Y'all can pause. Let me know what y'all think about that. So after he said, give me a call, I have a history of going through like 4 to 5 hour conversations with my dad. Us literally trying to go down each other's throat about how we disagree with each other, and we're trying to get each other to see each other's, like, you know, perspective and actually agree with it. For me, I wasn't even trying to get him to agree with me. I was just like, want it to be done. Like, you know, I just don't understand his thinking. So I said to refrain from that because I'm not trying to fall in the same patterns of coming out of character of who I am and who I truly want to be. So in order for that to happen, I cannot speak to you on the phone. I can't speak to you by myself. I can't speak to you without a therapist. So I decided we will not be having conversation anymore unless a therapist is involved. I told him I'm happy to give you clarity over text, basically, and he agreed to it. I told him my understanding of the story, and then he gave his input about the situation, and I didn't ask for his opinion. And this is why we go back and forth, because I could have responded and been like, no, because I disagree with what he said. It's like he's basically trying to say your relationship is your own with someone. Why put your input on something else that doesn't have to do with you? That's basically what he's saying. Like, and it's like, when something is wrong, something is wrong. And if it was him, if he felt like something was wrong, he would call it out. So that's what I felt like as a big sister, what I was doing. And I've been through that with my family. I felt the other end of being left out. I've experienced that firsthand. So if I see that happening to my other family members, I'm going to say, why are y'all doing that? Like, you know, he gave me his input, didn't ask for it. And so I leave it alone. And so I do a dance fitness workout class with my mom every Wednesday and Saturday. So Wednesday comes around, my youngest sister is there. Prior to the class, she booked a hair appointment with me. You guys know I'm a braider, and I usually do her hair. I love doing her hair. So this pained me because my youngest sister and I are kind of closer. We don't really have like we don't have any issues to my knowledge. This is the first like issue that we've had that I felt like, dang, this one kind of hurt. And so because of how she chose to treat family and stand by her excuses, just basically saying that her excuses are valid, her excuses are for the reasons for her excluding our cousins out, I wasn't okay with that. I think it's important for me to associate myself with someone who has similar values to me. I pull her after the class is over. I ask her if she can come outside to talk to me, and I'm trying to see if we are still on the same, or if we can be on the same page about the situation. And that's a no-go. It doesn't work out. I say something unnecessary to her out of emotion, which I would like to apologize, you know, when the time is right. But yeah, I'll get into that. But we're not on the same page about, you know, any of the situations, like the weird comment and the, you know, her excuses. She still believes she didn't do anything wrong. And so I decided a boundary for me was basically not going to extend myself, like overextend myself to my family for their wants. But if they need something, I'm okay with like being there. I just don't feel like they consider family. Like, they definitely will use people for when it benefits them, and I'm not okay with associating myself with people like that. I was saying earlier Proverbs, but this is actually Matthew 7 verse 12. It says, do to others whatever you would like them to do to you. This is the essence of all that is taught in the law and the prophets. And it also says that in Luke chapter 6 verse 31. Do to others as you would like them to do to you. Like I said, if I could have gone back and refrain from the unnecessary information that I said earlier. Was something that doesn't have anything to do with me or my sister. It had to do with my parents, but I brought it up because there's been situations I feel that my parents have shown that they don't love themselves. And so if you don't love yourself, it's more so how can you respect someone else? And so my point in saying that was basically, how do you expect our parents to treat the outside world? You know, they struggle with the two main things that it takes to like really be a loving and genuine person on this earth. So I'm like, and also like to refer to the fruits of the spirit, like in Galatians, it's chapter 5 verse 22. But the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So as I'm basically trying to level with her, I see we're still on different pages, and then my mom like rudely interrupts the conversation, being like, come on, let's go. Like, you know, she has an attitude basically because she said, I see it's getting, no, I walked over there. I said, why'd you do that? And she's like, I see it's getting, you know, heated, and I know how she is, and something along the lines of, I don't want to deal with that, or no, I'm ready to go, whatever. And I'm just like, things start to escalate because my mom sends me a text basically saying, please don't talk about the cousin situation. I'm gonna insert the screenshots right here. And so I let her know because, side note, prior to this week, my sisters work for a really close person to me. I consider this person one of my second mothers, like, and so they work for her, and I got them that connection. And so I found out that my sister was actually like being disrespectful and, you know, kind of throwing her hand on her hip, you know, talking to a person that pays her like that. Mind you, I know my the person that I got the hookup with, she's not the best at being organized. She's working on being better, but that's nor here nor there. Respect your elders, period. Like, come on, unless they disrespect you. Nah, because I'm all for do not provoke your children to wrath, okay? But I found out that, and so I wanted to communicate with my younger sister, not the youngest, younger sister, to basically be like, you know, I don't care what's going on. I understand, you know, you're paying your frustration. Do not do no body language like that. That is extremely disrespectful. Like, stop it there. Like, if you're gonna start doing that, you need to leave the job, basically. And I let my mom know to let her know that's not okay. And her response is, she's grown. Mind you, she's 19. She ain't grown. She's grown. She said she apologized. She gonna do what she want. Okay. So when she told me not to talk about the situation where I'm trying to help my sister grow in, y'all just pause it right here. Okay. Tell me if I'm valid for feeling how I feel, because definitely when they want to correct me, they'll definitely do so, because it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what goes on in their home now. I don't know how often they get corrected for their behavior, but so after doing all of that, my mom sends these voice messages basically saying, I'm not gonna listen, or I didn't read to all of what you said, but you made your sister cry. That's all I heard. And I paused it and I said, if you're not gonna respect me and listen to my message or read my message, I won't be listening to your voice messages. No. So she sent me like 3-4 voice messages. Still didn't listen to them, because I'm not gonna entertain somebody who doesn't even hear me out, who doesn't validate or respect me. It's not gonna happen. So I left that alone. My dad starts to text me like, and let's pause it here. I'm gonna read what I wrote to make this video go quicker. I wrote some notes. So I feel that my dad has a lack of respect for me when I speak up about my beliefs. He's the type of person that where if you disagree with him, he'll spend hours with you trying to get you to agree with him. He also is the type of person that will say his opinion is the right way to function in society. He is logically based. He lacks emotional maturity. In the moments of our different, you know, opinions, I'll never forget that he consistently said throughout my high school years, that my mindset is unfortunate, the way I think is crazy, I'm gonna have it difficult when I become an adult. And to be very real with y'all, the only thing that has been difficult as an adult was my family, is still my family. That's the only severely difficult thing that has struck me to the core, that my immediate family gives me this much trauma and this much pain. Only thing that has been super hard. I mean, I was like only thing, but like literally the biggest thing that truly strikes me to the core. The people who bring you into this world, and this is what you deal with. And my boyfriend said the other day, it be your own family. It do. My dad was basically trying to get insight on the unnecessary comment that I made about my parents, like him and my mother. And he felt that it was very negative towards his reputation. And most narcissists care about that stuff. Like, they care about their reputation. They desire to be liked. And, you know, I should have seen it coming. He was gonna, you know, whatever. In the moment where my dad started sending me Bible verses, mind you guys, he's not a believer. I don't know if I said this before. Not only did he choose verses that apply to his situation, that are useful for his point, but Satan also knows the Bible front and back. So that is pure manipulation to me. What he's not going to do is play me like I'm the fool. He belittled me and disrespected me by saying, you and your Bible now, right? Okay, that's number one. Number two, he said, I'm a baby in my faith and with a long time to grow. What does it matter to you? You're not even faithful. You're not even faithful to God. You don't choose a path. You lean on your own understanding. So let's talk about honesty and integrity. You know, let's talk about, are you that type of person? Are you a respectable person? Do you respect others? If you're going to use a Bible, start trying to practice the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't even come with me with some Bible verses that you want to use because it applies to your situation. If you're going to use the Bible, use the whole book and apply it to your life. Like, literally practice it, apply it. We mess up sometimes, but as long as you keep trying to be a better person, that's all I'm trying to hear. Don't pick up the Bible when you not trying to use it, period. Within that whole text, I basically set my boundaries. I said, there's no point in conversing with you when, you know, you don't believe. He called me ignorant. He said I'm ignorant by definition. Literally not. Like, he's mad because I know information. And let's be real. I have discernment about the person that my father is. I had a feeling about my parents' relationship that I just did not like. I didn't like my parents' relationship growing up. I don't feel like they displayed love. I don't feel like their relationship was a model relationship that I wanted in my life. It never was. Even when my dad proposed to my mom when I was 4, and I remember crying, and my mom was like, why are you crying? Something about my father does not give me good feeling. Like, I can't pinpoint it, but that discernment is so real to me. I can't do it. So without disclosing what I know, he said that basically I'm violating him by trying to turn my sisters against him. I'm exposing truth. That's it. And how they choose to go with that information, that's it. You know? I don't want them to become little narcissists. I don't want them to be manipulative. I don't want them to feel like they have to use people. Like, my other sister feels like she has to be friends with someone she doesn't like just in case she may need her in the future. That's manipulation. Why would anybody want to use somebody that they don't like? When you don't like somebody and when you're not fond of somebody and their values and the way they move in their life, remove yourself, distance yourself. You don't need that person. You'll figure it out. So that's just a prime example of how my parents have been instilling this kind of behavior. It's going to repeat itself, and I'm not doing it. So let me know, y'all, was I disrespectful? There was a few times where I do feel like I was petty. Like, you know, enjoy your day. As long as you love yourself, you know, my opinion don't even matter. I felt like I still tried to be as respectful as possible. Because honestly, with what I know and everything he's done to me, I could have called him all the things that I really wanted to say. I could have been disrespectful. I could have cussed him out. I am so grown. I don't need him. So I could have been free to do what I wanted to do, what my flesh wanted to do. And even in that, I said, God, I want to be better. Like, even though I'm upset right now, I'm still going to try and maintain respect. So I basically settled in the fact that my dad is broken and he's trying to escape pain by not giving his life to God. This may not be the answer, but this is how I'm able to heal. With just knowing that this, again, isn't my fault. And there's just been periods of me being an adult. I've been on my own for 4 years now. The first 2 years I spent time really wanting acceptance so bad from my father, to accept me for who I am, not who he wanted me to be. And so never getting that even till this day, I just had to let go of that desire of wanting acceptance from somebody who doesn't respect me, respect my mind, like respect the human that God created, to accept the human that God created, the human that came out of you, you know? So, yeah. And as for my sisters, honestly, I don't know if this could go one or two ways. They can continue to develop the habits of my parents and repeat that cycle, or they can figure out these patterns through different situations in their life, and hopefully they, nip it in the bud when they figure that out. I want them to treat the world with love and consideration, still put themselves first, but there's a healthy balance to everything. Yeah, I think that's about it for this video. Because this happened about 2 weeks ago, and now still freshly this past week, I do still have feelings about it. I saw my family today, and I forgot to mention that, my dad said he's uncomfortable and that I owe him a conversation. I don't owe him anything. If you don't want to be around me, you can leave. You don't got to be around me. I respect it. And we were all at my great-grandmother's house, and not many words were said to each other. My mom came up to me and she hugged me and stuff. I hugged her back. I said, "You look cute." First of all, she arrived. She said, "The queen is here." I'm like, "Okay, you doing too much." Then she said, I said, "You look cute." She's like, "I know." It's like, this is why I can't talk to y'all. Y'all just... Now, my girls, stand up. Moral of the story, I understand it may not look that deep to other people, but I wasn't looking for my sister to take my advice on inviting our cousins. It was more so, what is the real reason? I just feel like she came up with a bunch of excuses, and that's something I'm not okay with. I'm sorry, y'all. The dog is barking. But I really desire and respect integrity and honesty. And so, because she wasn't able to give that, and not to say that she's lying, but in my heart, to me, there's something deeper. So there's that. And then as far as my dad, like, I've been able to settle on the fact that I don't know his history. I know a few things that were very alarming to even hear. So I can only imagine his whole childhood. So I've settled on the fact that he's very broken, does not have the proper way to heal, which to me would be God. And he's basically a lost soul. I feel bad for him. I really do pray that one day he finds his godly confidence, his, himself to be considerate and wanting to be around family and, supporting in ways other than money. That's huge to me. One person that I know he does truly support would be his grandmother. And that is one person that I've seen him, or even heard the stories that he's done the work to actually, be there for her, which I'm very proud of. But, there's also a verse in the Bible that says, in Proverbs, basically along the lines of, if you do something good, or no, I don't even think it's Proverbs, it might be Titus. If you do something good, it doesn't even matter because you're sinful. Like, you are evil. You do things in sin. So, yeah, that's something I'm afraid of. Even though he does good with, certain things in life, doesn't mean that he'll make it to heaven. And that's the part that's scary. Sorry, y'all, it's kind of dark now. Oh. But to sum up the video, finally, I'm just going to leave it out on Proverbs chapter 26, verse 4 through 5. It says, "Don't answer the foolish arguments of fools, or you will become as foolish as they are. Be sure to answer the foolish arguments of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation." So what that means to me is when you identify that someone is a fool and you notice that there's no way for you to get through to them, to even offer different suggestions, wisdom, your opinions, when you know that that person is not willing to hear what you have to say, there's no point in arguing with them. However, the second part where it says be sure to answer the foolish arguments of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation, that means to me, still give that wisdom, because you never know what they will do with that. Fools will hear you and throw it away, but fools who are still looking to seek God, fools who are looking into learning about God, fools who will soon touch the Bible, will hear you and store it in their heart. They will hear you and store it somewhere in their mind. And when they start to really experience in different situations godly counsel, then they'll be like, yeah, this is what they were talking about. And I truly believe that a fool don't have to stay a fool. A fool is a fool because they want to be a fool. Period. But yeah, you guys, I hope that I was able to cover everything. I definitely feel like this part in the situation that kind of hurt me the most is the fact that this is the first situation where I feel like I've lost both of my sisters, and now this isn't my whole immediate family that I have problems with. And that part hurts. It feels like you're losing your family all over again. And that's the part that I really am hurt by. But yeah, I told my sisters, when you guys are ready to like grow and mature, I'll definitely be here. But for now, like, I'm definitely just going to be cordial and, keep my distance, if you guys want or need something, like, I won't really be able to, give you what you want or need right now. If you need wisdom, I'll definitely pick up the phone. I'll definitely respond to the text. I'll definitely show up wherever you are and try to give you what you need when it comes to that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope there were some girls who could relate. Narcissism comes in different forms, so definitely be on the lookout for it, and protect your mindset. I pray that you guys allow yourself to be open into learning and receiving wisdom, godly counsel, receiving constructive criticism. Sometimes reflections, looking in the mirror about our flaws, can sting a little bit, but acknowledging it and working your way through it is much better than staying the same, honestly. Nona Jones said, which pain do you want? The pain to stay the same, or the pain to grow, the pain to heal? So you decide which pain you want, and that's what we'll leave it at. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, sorry I talked your ear off. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back with some more story times on the vulnerability series. See you in the next one. Peace. The sun is shining, it's a new day.